Canada passes historic wage bill to stem wave of job losses. The front line is everywhere, Trudeau said. There be no shelter here. Canadian here from Alberta, please anyone that is receiving CERB put away 15% of every payment as it does state in the print that it is taxable. Yes, our government is supporting us now, but I'd hate for people to have a surprise tax repayment for 2020 returns. What do regular Canadians think of Trudeau's COVID policies? Never got a read if he's popular or effective, etc. Amazing how they seem to care about their people. This move will help them bounce back quicker. Glad I'm not in Canada and live in a country that allows me the freedom and liberty to die because the government isn't doing fucking anything to help people who are now unemployed. Canada, I'm happy for you and I may let you finish, but if you and New Zealand could stop knocking your COVID-19 response out the box like Luke and making the rest of us look bad, I'd appreciate it. Canada is the version of the U.S. portrayed in movies. As an American living in Canada with a work-from-home job, I am pretty damn lucky. You should see the hate he gets in some posts on Facebook and shit. I get it though, I disapprove of some policies, not getting into it, but there's people who just hate. Give credit where credit is due. Trudeau and Ford have been above and beyond during this crisis. This bill put me back to work. I can't tell you the relief I felt when I found out I was going to be back at work in a work-from-home capacity. Meanwhile, the US government is literally that Trailer Park Boys meme where Ricky says to LaHaye, "I'll pay you $100 to fuck off." The UK is doing this too for furloughed employees. They cover 80% salary up to £2,500 per month. This is great and all, but it still prevents me from speaking moistly. Speaking moistly, I stand 2 meters apart speaking moistly. Yeah, well, is Americans are getting a $1,200 check. Maybe in a week, maybe in 4 months. So, eat it Canada. Obv/s since I wish our leadership valued the little guys more than the corp guys. Good on you, Canada. Thanks for taking care of your people. Edit, to the Redditor who reached out and sent a crisis resource due to concern for me, thanks. I'm okay. I hope you are staying safe and sane. Be well, slightly smiling face. And I'm just sitting him, using my stimulus check to pay for next month's rent. Meanwhile I'm permanently laid off, state is shut down, and it can take up to 45 days before I see an unemployment check for a quarter of what I was making because I technically didn't lose my job to Corona. Picture for a second if we had Andrew Scheer in power, what a disaster that would have been. God, please go out and vote. I've been doing some reading recently about how different countries deal with unemployment. Interestingly, the way Australia, where I'm from, and also NZ deal with it is different than most countries. Unemployment benefits here aren't time limited in any way, just means tested, so you could theoretically remain on benefits indefinitely. It shocked me actually that most countries don't have this. But even already having that system in place here in Australia, we've also passed a similar wage subsidy to Canada so that companies don't need to lay people off. But from what I've read, unlike us here, Canada's employment insurance is actually time limited, so it seems this would have a fairly large impact if COVID continues on for longer than the maximum time one can claim unemployment. Must be nice. You know, whenever one of these threads makes it to the top, there is always the pissing match between Americans and Canadians/Europeans. This thread seems tamer than normal. Less prideful. It's nice. Canada is fucking amazing. This is a huge risk for Trudeau. This needs to work out well for him. I hope Canada all the best. We're all in this together. Edit, let me clarify a little bit here, guys. My message has no political intent about it. I'm just saying, this is a lot of money. A lot. Every leader needs to make hard choices for their people, especially now. I hope nothing bad happens is all. All I can say is thank God I'm not an American in all this. There is no one at the helm for them. I live in the UK and if we get furloughed we get 80%. I love my country. Glad not I'm not in America who is led by a fucktwad. Smart. People are still employed. Money goes through companies to the workers. Canadian here. I'm not eligible for any of the COVID benefit relief whatevers because I'm eligible for EI. I applied for it over 3 weeks ago and haven't heard a peep and can't get through on the phone lines. Meanwhile, people that applied for the COVID benefits received money a few days later. It would be awesome if I could at least get some assurance that my claim went through. I've had my reservations about Trudeau, still do regarding some of his older policies, but goddamn, I'd rather have him as a leader who's trying to help our countrymen than a certain someone doing his best to get us all killed. Why is it every news posted about Canada always turns into an anti-America circle jerk? But Trump said this isn't possible. This makes me proud to be Canadian. The leadership through this has been incredible and I am not really even a big fan of Trudeau. Our government is doing an excellent job. Almost everyone in this beautiful country has stepped up. Fuck ya Canada. A thread about Canada and the comments are all about the USA, as expected. The UK has offered 80%. Canada 75%. New Zealand and Australia is implementing measures. Come in USA. Keep up with your cousins. It's during times of crises that you realize why it's better to be led by a left-wing leader rather than a right-wing leader. Requiring companies that receive government aid to use it to help working families, what a novel idea. Ugh, Trudeau is the worst. He's giving away all of our money. What about those of us who are still employed and paying taxes? What do we get? Some 16-year-old on 6 Ikes buzz, always.